So that's one way of formatting a table, but supposing you want to have a bit more control over it, which I imagine in practice you probably will, or if you don't, maybe your boss will. He'll say, oh well, why don't we make this bit like that and that bit like that. I'll show you how to format to get a nice table like this, where you've got a lot more control how everything looks, because you're basically formatting it manually. So as you see, it's basically the same table. It's got the same data in, the same names, the same months. It's got this added at the top, and it's got this formatted a bit differently. So I'll just show you how you can make a table like that from the same data. So first of all, let's copy this. Let's put it down here, paste it. So let's clear the formatting to start with from first principles. So on the home menu, the ribbon at the end, you see it's got clear, drop down, just let's clear the formats. There we go. So this is our source data. So let's copy this. Let's move over here, paste. And let's just create a table like that. So let's do the shading first. Let's make these bits grey. So let's first select it, then click here, drop down, select the grey we want. So this one I'm selecting the second one down, which is a little bit darker than the lightest grey. Then select this. Now I've already selected it once, so I can just click there and it will make it the same shade as before. So I select that and then click that. Okay, so we've got the greys. Now let's do the scores in maths test heading. So what we want to do, rather than have it on the left there, we want to center it across the whole table. And the way we do that is to merge these 5 cells together. So first select them all, then click on merge and center. And now this is basically treated as one cell. So if you see if you click down, you see it expands to include all 5 columns, and then down again it just goes back to 1 column. We now want to make this bigger. Let's just see how big this was. So clicking there, we see this is 28 size font, so let's make this 28 as well. Then 28, very nice. And now the only step left is to do the, well, we need to change that. You see that's 2053 without the comma. Once you start getting to the thousands, I think it's a lot easier to read if you have the comma. Your brain knows a lot quicker that this is like in the thousands column and not in the hundreds. It just stands out more. So let's just change that format. You click on that comma there. This adds decimal places, which we can reduce. So click on that one twice to reduce the decimals to no decimal places. So we've added a comma there in the formatting because of the thousands. Now all we have to do is add grid lines. So let's just first select the whole thing. See, there's a thing here where you can select grid lines. So click there. Not grid lines, these are borders, sorry. Grid lines are these things, which you can also obviously print off with if you want, which I'll show you later. So let's just do the first outside borders. So it's done an outside border now. And then we do the same thing with this section. It's already selected there because we selected it last time. Outside border. We need one here because we want a line above the total. So we need one at the bottom. So select that. We need one January, February, March. Now I think that really should have a line under it as well, because for consistency, because there is for January, February, March. So let's just add one there and add one there as well. So I think that is pretty perfect. In practice, you could do either way to format. I tend to just do it manually like this because you saw how quickly I did that, and I was doing it deliberately slower so I could show you what to do. The only time it really, I think this format as a table is maybe if you were doing this a lot and you just wanted to do things really fast, let's just make these grey, that looks quite nice. So you could do that fairly easily. Of course, if this was like 200 lines long, you might want to do it that way. Just makes it, if it's a big spreadsheet, it makes it easier to see what's on the same line. Yes, I think that is very nice, either of these two.